Hello, everyone, and welcome to the official Zen Project 8 beta launch. I'm Cassiah Jay. I want to welcome all of you who are tuning in this evening. Joining me tonight, we have celebrity fitness and nutrition expert, as well as our Zen Brand Ambassador, Mark MacDonald. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Cassiah. Hello, Zen Project 8 community. So excited for tonight. Time to ignite, right, Cassiah?
It is time to ignite. It is officially week 2, igniting your metabolism. So Mark's got lots of great tips for you as we continue on our journey for Zen Project 8. Before we get started, we have a couple of housekeeping notes to go over with you guys very quickly. If you're watching from hangouts.zenproject8.com, be sure to leave those questions, comments, and feedback in the sidebar. We're checking out your questions. We want to know your feedback. It is very important to us, so make sure that you leave your comments. Also, last week, if you weren't able to tune in to the official launch, okay, so what you need to start this program, you certainly want to go back right here on this channel. It's hangouts.zenproject8.com and catch that replay. So before we move into tonight's show, I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen. I just want to walk you guys through a couple things to quickly recap on what you need to get started in the program. So moving forward, if you guys want to connect in, so these are text alerts. Remember that data rates apply, so you want to text the word Zen Project 8 to the number 96,000. That's a short code, just like you would send a text message. So the word is Zen Project 8 to the phone number 96000. Stay up to date and get all of the announcements. Also, let's go through our 8 steps of Zen Project 8. Number 1, draw your line in the sand. You've got to make a commitment to go all in. So start your Zen Project 8 transformation with the right mindset, knowing that you are going to be successful. Step number 2, please join our Zen Project 8 Facebook community. As a matter of fact, bear with me real quick while I toggle between screens, because I actually wanted to show you exactly where that is and what that looks like. So let me see which browser I need to pull up. Right here, and share this with you guys. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen, but the web address for this Facebook group is going to be facebook.com/groups/Zen Project 8. Okay, so Zen Project 8, that is where you want to go to connect up in that group. We're sharing a lot of great things. Mark is personally answering questions inside of that, so you certainly want to be a member of that community. Remember, inside of that group, you can download your Zen Project 8 detox plan, your ignite plan, and your thrive phases. I believe there's also a workout calendar in there. And step number 4, don't forget to order your Zen products. They are key in being successful in this Project 8 beta. So make sure that you have your Zen products. Step number 5, before and after photographs. So you want to take your before pictures right now. This is the before phase. And believe me, 8 weeks goes by really quickly. So take those pictures on a digital camera. All the information is available to you at zenproject8.com, but we want to know your weight, your measurement, and you can submit that to us online. We certainly want to see that, and that will make you eligible for the program moving forward as the transformations are selected. And then step number 6, tune in right here, just like you're doing now, the live weekly coaching series every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Step number 7 is to take your after pictures. And then step number 8, submit your before and after pictures, weight measurements, and your story. These need to be submitted by March 7th to be considered for the top 100 transformations. So lots of fun stuff happening here. I know, Mark, you and I had talked before we had started the show. Just, all right, we're already in week 2. Week 1 was detox week, which I know even for me was a difficult week. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I know it is. No matter what your situation, I would say I eat pretty healthy. I'm a healthy person, but detox week still was a little stressful for me. So that being said, what happens if someone completely falls off the plan? Like, what's your advice to people about staying on course?
Yeah, you know, it's a great question, Cassiah, and just everyone. You know, I just want to give a big shout out. Cassiah and I were talking before this hangout all week to see the group, to see the thousands of people interacting, being part of this community, cheering each other on is fantastic. And remember, you can bring people in. So as Cassiah said, those 8 steps, feel free to go to zenproject8.com. You can see those steps and those links right there as well. Now, when we talk about falling off plan, I want you to write down 3 words right now on a piece of paper. Okay, as you're watching this or type it into your phone: progress over perfection. So let's say that one more time: progress over perfection. I want you to look at this quote. Falling off plan doesn't determine your health success. We all fall off plan. Your success is decided by how quickly you get back on plan. Always focus on progress over perfection. See, this is the reality that I want everyone to realize. You will fall off plan. You will have tough moments. But when you fall off plan, it's not whether you fall off, it's how quickly you get back on. We all have those tough days. You all are going to have a tough day at a detox week or Ignite phase. And somewhere in this, it will happen. But realize you have a community driving you on. So Cassiah, it's not whether you're going to fall off, you will, but just realize that we're focusing on progress and 1% mindset. And if you adapt that, you're going to be better off than you are 8 weeks from now. But more important, 365 days from now, you're going to be living the health that you want forever. This isn't a quick fix. This is something you do for the rest of your life.
I love that. And it's so important, guys, to stay on course. So Mark, that leads me to our next segment of tonight's show. We've gotten a ton of questions that have come into the Facebook community. So I think we pulled the top 10. So guys, moving into future shows and since starting tonight, we're doing a rapid fire session, which means I'm going to ask Mark your top 10 questions and he's going to answer them as quickly as possible. So Mark, are you ready for rapid fire?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to talk as fast as I can. And everyone, remember, if a question doesn't get answered, dive into the Facebook community. We're on that every single day.
Perfect. Okay, so question number 1 that's coming in. What if I'm hungry?
If you're hungry, feed your body. Food is your friend. See, check this out. We're doing eating in threes, eating every 3 hours of protein, fat, carbohydrates. So if you're hungry, that means your metabolism is awakened. We start with 5 meals, but if you start getting hungry at the 2.5 hour mark, eat another balanced meal. Don't worry about eating too much throughout the day. If you're eating the right breakdowns in the right intervals, you're set up to win. So eat.
I love that. Okay, so guys, you have to be eating. All right, question number 2, Mark. What if I'm full or not hungry every 3 hours?
So if you're full or you're not hungry, it means your metabolism is not awakened. Remember, if you're new to this, if you're eating 1 or 2 meals when you start, your body's not used to being fed consistently. So don't stuff yourself. Don't feel full. That means you're storing fat. You want to eat a half a meal every 3 hours. And I promise you this, within 1 week, your metabolism will be kicking and you'll be hungry every 3 hours. So just do a half meal, eat again 3 hours, don't be full, and you'll be awakened within a week.
Perfect. Okay, so a lot of people know that they have to weigh and measure themselves. A big question coming in is, did I just lose water weight in the detox phase, and when should I measure myself?
So you did lose water weight in the detox phase, some of it. You lost toxins, you lost a lot of stuff. Just remember, your body needed a much needed oil change, and we all carry this inflated weight. So the detox phase cleaned out your body, dropped a lot of that excess bloat. But the mistake we have is that this first week, you're, oh man, I'm dropping so much weight. Remember, you can't drop this much weight every single week. This is much more than a weight loss thing. This is burning fat, building muscle, enhancing your metabolism. So results will slow down in the numbers amount. So you want to measure yourself the same time each week, preferably in the morning without clothes on, so you have the most accurate aspect. And this is the key. We don't want to let the number on the scale determine if you're happy or not. If you're feeling great, if your clothes are fitting good, if your energy is high, you are winning with your plan. So stay the course, ask the question, dive into it.
Oh, that's great. Great advice right there. All right, so question number 4, and this is funny, but the struggle is real, right? Lots of people are talking about this in the community. What do I do if I'm constipated? Mark?
It is a reality of life, everyone. Look, we're all grown-ups here. Your digestive system takes in food, metabolizes it, and eliminates it. We all have different digestive systems. Some of us are more prone to constipation. If that's you, most likely, as you're cleaning out your system, you're not getting enough fiber. So you can add psyllium husk fiber, which is 5 grams. 1 teaspoon of that 3 times a day helps the bulk of your bowel so that you can go to the bathroom better. Now also, the Zen Pro has 9 grams of fiber in it. So that's going to help. So add some fiber, drink your water, and make sure you focus on lean-based proteins. Proteins with saturated fat do not help you as much because they're harder for your body to break down.
Interesting. Okay, great advice there. Number 5, when should I take Shape? So we know that Zen Body has 3 products that are available right now. So the question is, when should they take the Shape?
Yeah, so the Shape, a lot of people talked about detox. Should I use the Shape during the detox? Yes. Shape is a phenomenal product. So I would use Shape during the detox, the ignite phase. And what we're going to do is, if you want to enhance your thrive phase, you can take your shape as well. You can do your shape product, and you want to do it 30 minutes before the meal. So 30 minutes twice a day before the meal, 1 capsule twice a day before meal, mid-morning, mid-afternoon. And you can take that in your detox, ignite, and thrive.
Perfect. Good to know. Okay, number 6, this goes right along with that question, but people are asking, they want to know, can they take other Jeunesse products? So can you take the Fit, Reserve, Affinity, AM, PM? How do they fit in the program, and how can they take those other products?
Yeah, because I mean, this is the key. You know, Reserve's a great antioxidant product. We already know that the majority of people don't get enough fruits and vegetables, and the ones that you do get are not high quality because of all of the pesticides out there. So that's why you want to buy organic if you can. But Reserve is fine. Just if you're using Reserve, you can take it throughout the entire program. Just count it as a half a carb in that meal. When you look at the AM, PM, perfect. Infinity, you can take that in the entire plan, all phases, detox, ignite, and thrive. And then when you look at the Fit is for the thrive phase. But you can take the Fit through in the ignite phase because we're adding this exercise in. We wanted to be cautious in the sense of how much products people had to take to expense and do that. But all the Jeunesse products that I just mentioned are phenomenal products. So if you're taking them all already, you can keep taking them.
Good news, because I love my Jeunesse products. That's good to know. Okay, number 7 is, what if I'm cramping? And they don't reference what kind of cramping, but it just says, what if I'm cramping? Is it related? What's it coming from?
Yeah, so a lot of the cramping is going to come from when you look at what you were already eating. So if you're taking in a lot of sodium, the way your body works, your muscle, your water retention, you have something called a sodium potassium pump. And ideally, you want an equal amount of sodium potassium to keep everything balanced. When you starting to eat clean, you're taking in much less sodium, you're drinking a lot of water. That can cause some muscle cramping at times, depending on who you are. And what I want to preference is this. Every single person, before you start some type of nutrition program, even one based on science like ours, you should always consult your physician. If you're already having medical challenges as you enter into this program, make sure your doctor looks through everything. But when we look at cramping, simply add some additional potassium-rich foods, like a banana as one of your fruit. You can do electrolyte tablets or powders that you can get at running stores or on Amazon. But just make sure you have the proper balance so that you're not cramping from lack of electrolytes.
Perfect. And I know you just made some commentary about bananas and other things people can add to their diet plan, because number 8 is, how can I find more recipes?
Yeah, so just remember, we start with a baseline for everybody. So you're eating 5 to 6 meals a day. And sometimes 7. Remember, eat if you're hungry. And as you go through this, you need to eat your proteins, your fats, your carbohydrates. You need to find the ones that you enjoy. Now, recipes in the Facebook group that Cassiah already showed you, simply in the search bar menu, type in detox recipe, ignite recipe, thrive recipe. As each of you are living this plan, and as we continue to post new recipes, we're going to all hashtag it, detox recipe, ignite recipe, thrive recipe, so that as you go through the search, we all can see more food options.
Perfect. I love that hashtagging system too. So guys, if you're contributing to the group, make sure that you use that. It's just hashtag and then whatever phase recipe. Okay, number 9, what if I'm vegan? Are there recipes for me?
Yeah, so there's 2 things you want to look at. If you're vegetarian, so you have vegetarian and vegan. Vegetarian's still going to have dairy. So when we look at Zen Pro, that works perfect because that comes from a whey protein, so it's milk-based. Egg whites, fish. A lot of vegetarians, you can still follow everything on that. If you're purely plant-based, that means that we recommended some plant-based shakes in the group that have the right balance, the litmus test that we recommend. In addition, you can have any of the fats or carbs that are listed because those are all high quality. Your proteins, you want to find some plant-based proteins. Go to a Whole Foods, go to a Sprouts, go to a store, and you can see all of the breakdowns. And what you're looking for is just a quality amount of protein that you're getting 15 to 20 grams in per meal for a female, about 30 grams per meal for a male.
Perfect. Okay, so lots of solutions there if you are vegan or vegetarian. Question number 10, Mark, is, can I detox a second week? That's a big question that's coming in. I don't know if it's for people who maybe have more to lose throughout the journey or just are getting such amazing results. What do you recommend for detoxing and taking an extra week to do that phase?
It's a great question. When we looked at people detoxing, if there's 3 categories typically where you'd want to go a second week. If you have 50 pounds or more to lose, because your body probably has not been in the best shape from a digestive perspective. If you're a chronic smoker, which is not gonna, a lot of toxins in your body, or if you're drinking more than 3 alcoholic beverages a week. If you're doing that, you may wanna do a second week of detoxing. Now, this is what I wanna preference it with. We are not in here for you to get great results, go all in and crash and burn 3 weeks from now, or 4 weeks from now, or 8 weeks from now. This is a lifestyle. So if you feel like, hey, I want to do a second detox, but I want to add a little more variety to my meal plan, then do a hybrid of the Ignite phase and the detox. We have to make sure that this becomes a lifestyle for you. So detoxing the second week is fine. Just make sure you're not burning yourself out as you do it.
Great advice. And again, moving into that Facebook community and having that support inside of that group, I think is just brilliant as you decide to either do the hybrid or move forward, getting advice and having Mark to answer your questions inside of that. So, all right, Mark, so we are officially in week 2. And for most of the people who are taking this journey, they are moving into this next phase of the 3 phases of the project. So, the title of tonight's show is Igniting Your Metabolism and Turning Your Body into a Fat Burning Machine. So we're moving into Ignite. I was hoping that you could tell our audience a little bit about the Ignite phase and what they can expect moving out of detox and into Ignite.
I think everyone loves moving out of detox and igniting. Just saying the word, turning your body into a fat burning machine. Cassiah, don't you just love the way that sounds?
I was like, you know what, just go ahead and sign me right up for that, please. I think everybody hopes for that.
I want everyone to imagine your body burning fat. And before we dive right into detox, into the Ignite phase, and Cassiah and I walk you through it, I want to just remind you of a couple things that we're doing here in the philosophy of what we're here. Is that the eating philosophy of the Zen Project 8 is blood sugar based. I've been watching all of the great questions and commentary in the community, and it's important to understand that everything we're doing is based upon science. It's PFC every 3. So just know this, eating in 3s from the moment you wake to the moment you sleep, it keeps your metabolism balanced, it keeps your blood sugar humming, it releases your stored fat, and that fat gets burned up in your muscle. Every time you skip a meal, you burn muscle. Every time you overeat, you store fat. So it's PFC. If you look at that your screen, it's just protein, carbs, and fat. Now, the other thing is this. What happens when your blood sugar is balanced? You're going to release that fat into the bloodstream, and then that muscle absorbs the fat. That's why muscle's your friend, and then fat is burned as energy. See, this is what we have to remember. A lot of times people say, well, Mark, I'm only eating 1,200 calories, or I'm only eating 1,500 calories. But when your blood sugar is balanced, you're releasing your stored fat. I want you to grab a little bit of your body fat. Every pound of body fat has 3,500 stored calories. So as long as your blood sugar is balanced, the caloric deficit that stored fat is being utilized to fill that deficit and burn fat. This is why the leaner you get, this is why I'm seeing posts already. Hey, I'm 1 week in and I'm already getting more hungry. The more fats you burn, the less stored fats you have, the more fuel you have to feed your body to make it work. This is why this becomes an eating way of life. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that you just do for a moment in time. How does that sound, Cassiah?
It sounds perfect. So I know you wanted to go over just a couple of the phases. We were talking about the 3 steps. So now that we're moving into the Ignite phase, can you just tell the audience a little bit about the 3 steps?
Yeah, so let me dive into it. When you go to your file and you actually look at and you download the Ignite phase, that's when we're looking at you download the Ignite phase. Hold on one sec. So everyone's got to give me there it is. It's already up there.
Yep.
If you look at your Ignite phase, you're going to be able to see. Let me go here. So I want to give Cassiah a big hug because I've been learning the Google Hangout and how to go back and forth. So I appreciate your flexibility in teaching me all of this. So
you're doing great.
It's always, so if you see me do a little bit of flubber, everyone, it's just because I'm learning the navigation of everything. So when you look at the Ignite phase, this is the program guide. And as we talked about, there are 3 phases. You're detoxing, igniting, and then you're thriving. This is going to be weeks 21 days, weeks 2 through 4. For the next 3 weeks, it's all about burning. I want you to say burn, say sculpt, and say restore. So what we're burning is we're burning fat, and we're going to do this through the Zen shape, which many were taking the detox, but to continue in this, I'm going to share a few other strategies. We're sculpting because we're bringing exercise back in. So everyone give a big cheer. Yes, exercise is back in. And then we're going to restore your metabolism. Now, before I dive into some of the food we're going to do, let's actually look at what we're going to do exercise-wise. The key is this. I want you to think about your body being like, just draw a line down the middle of yourself right now. And imagine half your body is red muscle, and imagine half your body is white muscle. Red muscle is that slow marathon running, fat burning muscle. White muscle is that sprinter muscle, that explosion muscle. Now, when you see 30 minutes of strength training, you see 30 minutes of high intensity cardio, and you see fat burning. That white muscle is that high intensity cardio where you're going 1 minute explosion, 1 minute recovery, 1 minute explosion, 1 minute recovery. The fat burning cardio is that slow and steady. And then your strength training is when you actually break down the muscle by doing yogas or CrossFit or workout class or weights, where you actually overload the muscle and you get sore. It's not about working out harder. In this phase, it's about working out smarter. So I want you to imagine a 4 to 5 day routine, and you're going to lay this out where you're doing 2 days of strength training. The other 2 days you would do your high intensity cardio, and each one of those sessions are followed by fat burning cardio. You see, fat burning cardio burns fat, while high intensity cardio and strength training burns sugar. The mistake people make is they start doing their fat burning cardio first, and then they follow it with their strength training or high intensity. That's opposite of how your body burns fuel. So you always want to start with the explosion movement, and then by doing your fat burning cardio after your strength training or high intensity cardio, you will burn probably 30 to 40% more fat. So in the same amount of time, much more fat that's going to be burned. And you want to do this about 4 to 5 days a week. Any questions on that you have on that particular, Cassiah, for yourself?
No, I'm actually, I might sound weird to the audience, but I love working out. I love weight training. I love doing cardio. I'm very active. I play in different leagues and do stuff. So I'm actually really excited to bring in exercise. I know for a lot of people, that's certainly not the case. So maybe you could just tell the audience, like, hey, if you haven't been working out, maybe slow and steady wins the race. What advice can you give the audience for people who either hate exercising or haven't done it in a long time?
Yeah, so if you haven't exercised, this is why we look at this program works for everybody. Let's say you haven't exercised at all. I think of multiple of my clients through the years that they came into this, they got great results in the detox phase, and they said, well, I don't know what to do. I don't want to exercise at all. If you don't like exercise, don't worry about it. Start doing 1%. Imagine doing 3 days a week for 15, 20 minutes. You start chipping away at it. Find a routine. Then you build up to 3 days a week for 30 minutes. Then you go to 4 days for 30 minutes. And then you go to 5 days for 30 minutes. And then as you build more consistency, you can add the strength training in. You can add the high intensity cardio in. This is about you finding where you are and building from there. So that is your ignite phase. Because from an exercise perspective, are you good with that?
Yep, that works for me. I'm actually really excited about it, and I want to encourage everybody out there. Just what do they say? If you're no matter what you're doing, you're lapping everybody that's still on their couch. So I would call that activity. Like, let's be active and be reverent to our bodies and just move would probably be a good first step. So Mark, we talked about working out. I know exercise is a really important component of living a vital life. And I think the question though that everybody wants to know is what are we eating now? Because okay, we've done this detox and we're pretty much over it. So what foods can we add to our diet and add to the plan this week? What are we looking at?
Okay, so when you check this out, this is the reality. Stable blood sugar releases the stored fat. As I shared earlier, that fat gets burned up in your muscle. Muscle's your friend. That's why we're activating with your sculpting your body with exercise. Now, burning, I want you to tell yourself, food is my friend. Say that out loud. Food is my friend. Food fuels my metabolism. So as we look at what we're adding, and a few things that we want to focus on here, is there, if you look at your meal plan, there's not a ton of new options in your ignite phase, but there are some specific strategic options that allow you greater variety. When we look at boredom, the next 3 weeks, I don't want you to be bored with your food. That's why it's important that you dive into the recipes. You're not in that detox phase anymore, but we're still eating super clean. Remember, when we looked at eating clean food doesn't have a lot of process in it. So it doesn't make your body hold on to fluid. So you're you're keeping that bloat off. You're now enhancing your fat burning by adding the exercise. And then we're adding a few additional food items to help keep you satisfied even longer. When you look at the protein, I know many of you love shellfish, so you can bring that back in. I know a question I've been getting nonstop. Can I have a whole egg? Can I have some beef? Can I have some additional non-lean fish besides salmon, like orange roughy? What about some pork tenderloin? What about some ground beef? If you're going to do ground beef, do 99%. If you're going to do beef, try to do filet mignon. Those are the right breakdowns for you. But when we look at bringing the non-lean proteins in, go for it. They're a great source of protein. Just remember, if you're struggling with constipation, be a little more cautious with that. The fat, we're keeping the fat super, super clean, because most of the fats that aren't on that list right there are going to be processed fats, but you can bring some olives in. Now, this is how we're going to add a little more satiation to your meals. Right now, you feel good. We kept the carbohydrate super simple with just fruits and vegetables. And as you know, you can have as many fruits and veggies as you want. But why did we bring the grains and calorie-dense carbs back in? In the detox phase, I explained how great those were. When you look at quality like beans and brown rice and sweet potatoes, quinoa, yams, oatmeal, millet, they're great at slowing down the rate of blood sugar release. So adding some of those back in, you might hold a little positive fluid. So that's why I don't want you to focus on the scale alone, but they will help keep you satisfied longer. If I have a meal where it's like some turkey with some almonds and some fruit by itself, if I have some turkey with some almonds, a little bit of fruit, a little bit of oatmeal, I'm satisfied a little bit longer. So now you can start bringing some of these dense carbohydrates back in. I would start with maybe 1 or 2 meals a day, see how that makes you feel, see how your digestive system works. And then free foods, we're bringing in some extracts and some vinegars to spice up those salads even more. So for the next 21 days, you're still eating super, super clean to keep that body going, but adding this additional variety will help you out. And what I also want to share is that you add that 6th meal in. As your metabolism happens, you want to make sure that you're feeding yourself that much better. So when we come here would be some samples, Cassiah, for females and men. You look at 3 egg whites, almonds, and berries. But now we're bringing in, you can bring in some additional stuff. You can bring in some brown rice. So instead of that dinner where you're having halibut, you can have the halibut with some olive oil, and you can have some brown rice. You can have, instead of the asparagus, you can have some brown rice. Instead of the green beans for lunch, you can put in some sweet potatoes. So you can start exploring with your ignite phase for what you can have from that perspective. And then obviously dive into a lot of these recipes.
Well, they look good to me, that's for sure. I actually like adding carbs back in just because you are working out. And so it is. I love what you said too about fueling your body. We eat to fuel our bodies, that we should look at ourselves as high performing machines, and our bodies aren't trash cans. So we don't eat bad food. We eat clean, healthy foods that go right into our body and fuel us for living a more fulfilled life. So Mark, that's amazing. So we covered the ignite phase, what we can eat, our workouts. Is there anything that we're missing on this phase that you want to tell our audience before we close the show for the evening?
Yeah, so the final step is restoring your digestive system. So your detox phase was all designed on cleaning your body out and giving you an oil change. Now we want to restore it. This is why probiotics are so important. This is why Zen Pro has probiotics in it. Probiotics are live bacteria. We talked about constipation, and that's a lot of times where the digestive system isn't flowing. You want your digestive system to be your best friend because you are what you metabolize. So restoring it as we clean it out, we're bringing those clean foods back in, we're adding the probiotics, and now that's keeping your digestive system healthy and happy. This is going to allow you to maximize your fat burning. So you're going to burn, you're going to sculpt, and you're restoring. And over these next 21 days, you're going to see a transformation of how ignited your metabolism can become.
I love it. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for the week ahead. I had a great detox week, so this will be really fun to incorporate some new foods and just have some fun and see what everybody says in the group. But, you know, moving into a new phase and just closing out the show, I know we talked a lot about mindset on last week's show, and I came across a really cool quote that I wanted to share with you, Mark. It says, "If I quit now, I will soon be back to where I started. And when I started, I was desperately wishing to be where I am now." And I loved that because I think often we don't give ourselves enough credit. We've only been in the program for 1 week, but think of the progress that you've made just in those 7 days. So Mark, just in closing, that 1%, can you just tell the audience, just give them that little bit of encouragement that they need maybe for the week ahead, moving on in our project as we continue on 8 weeks?
Yeah, first off, I love that quote that you just shared. And I think that's what we have to remember. You know, we started a journey together, everyone, 7 days ago. And the whole objective here was for you to draw your line in the sand and imagine where you'd be 365 days from now. This is a huge victory. Every day you move forward, every positive meal you eat, every moment of exercise you have is a victory. And when you do fall off, it's okay. Progress over perfection. You just get right back on, you shake it off, and you keep moving forward. And remembering, just like Cassiah said, how far you've come from when you started. And I want to end with a quote that I have for everyone as well.
We should post these in the group after.
I agree. When I look here, I will post everything in the group here. When I look here, hold on, I got to go back to my screen here. It's easy to be distracted by the next big health craze. Just remember, at the end of the day, being fit and healthy has nothing to do with hype and everything to do with education, consistency, and support. Everyone, this is what I want you to remember as you take on this Ignite phase and as we move on through this next week, is that it's not about you having to have a moment of greatness. You are being great every single day. Realize there's no hype here. There's no craziness here. You are doing something that's going to set you up to win for the rest of your life. Love your food. Enjoy it. Reach out for support. Stay consistent. And remember, we're here with you every step of the way. And I'm hugging you right from Atlanta, Georgia. Cassiah, it's so much fun rocking this with you.
This is so much fun. And guys, for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, this replay is available immediately following, so invite people to come and participate in this group. For sure, invite them on our Facebook community. We want to connect up with them. Mark, as always, I thank you so much for your guidance, for your coaching, for your heart, because we feel it, your authentic care for our community. We just love that about you. We are looking forward to this next Ignite phase. So guys, Mark and I are wishing you nothing but continued success in your business and your life, and certainly as you move into the Thrive phase of Project 8. So we'll see you next week, 9 o'clock Eastern time, right here on this channel at hangouts.zenproject8.com. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.